everyone, I'm Ella, as she just said, and I'm going to tell you guys the story of how I earned the title of BAMF. So for those of you who don't know, BAMF stands for Badass Mother Effer. And so when I was younger, especially in middle school, I was a total nerd. I had mastered the art of read walking through crowded hallways, which is like texting while driving, but nerdier and safer, and instead of like dying, you just socially die because people are like, who the fuck is walking through the hallway while reading a book? I carried around a huge thick book as a status symbol because I was like, yeah, like people are gonna see me and they're gonna be like, damn, that girl's got a brain, she's got a good personality, yeah. And one time in 6th grade, I was in math class and these girls were behind me talking. They were talking about their boyfriends and they were like, oh my gosh, I'm gonna get tattoos with my boyfriend after this. We're gonna get matching heart tattoos on our arm. And I turned around and I was like, I'm sorry, but you can't have a boyfriend until you're 16. My mom says so. I think it's a good rule of thumb, so don't have a boyfriend right now. Fuck. And I was so proud. I went home and I told my parents, I was like, I saved lives today. And they were like, Ella, how have you not got beat into a pulp already? And I was like, I don't know, because I'm adorable. And so fast forward a few years later, it's sophomore year of high school, and in addition to being like a total nerd, I was also a theater geek. So in this Venn diagram, I was in like the vagina of uncoolness. And so it was the day of a cast party. I was so excited. For those of you who have been in been to cast parties, they're really fun, really awesome. And this cast was especially cool because everyone got along. There was no drama, there were no fights, which for theater kids is a big deal. And so I was super excited for it, so was everyone else. And on that day, I made the fatal mistake of saying something mean to my sister in front of my parents. And I don't even remember what it was. It was probably something like, Anna, you're not a vegetarian, you're eating a fucking hamburger. Truth, that happened. And so they said, Ella, you're gonna have to be at the cast party early. I was like, what? No, I was so looking forward to this. And they're like, yeah, you're gonna have to leave at 11 o'clock. And I was like, no, that's exactly when things get turned. They bring out the apple juice. Come on, guys. And they're like, no, you're leaving early. So I went to the party, and it was fun, but there was like a cloud of melancholy over the whole evening, and at 11, sure enough, my dad came and picked me up and walked me the 2 blocks back to our house. So dangerous, thanks, Dad. And so the whole way back, I was so sad. I got in bed, and I was so mad, and I was like, this is horrible. I have to stand up against this injustice. I'm gonna have to stand up to the patriarchy and the matriarchy because my mom's in on this too. And I just lay in bed seething and I formed a plan. So when I was sure that everyone was asleep, I snuck out of bed and over to my dresser and got out all the darkest clothes I had. And I was like, I will be black as the night. And so I put them on and I was like, oh my gosh, I'm wearing Converse and they have white on them. Should I Sharpie it in? They're gonna see me. And then I was like, my sweater is navy, it's not black. Oh my gosh, the police are gonna come and then the fashion police are gonna come and Joan Rivers is just gonna be staring me in the face. And so I was like, no, Ella, you have to do this. And so I snuck from my room to the office, which is right next to my room. And from the office, I snuck out onto the roof of our porch. And from there, I was planning on rappelling down the side by hooking my sheet onto the bird feeder. Genius idea, Ella, until you get there, and I realized, no, I can't fucking do that. So I had a sheet wrapped around me, but since it was light blue, I had it underneath my sweater. I looked like I was like weirdly pregnant all over my body. And I was like, okay, no, I can't rappel down the side of this. So I went over to the other side of the roof, and I hopped down onto our deck, and I forgot that we have motion sensor lights. So they just go, boom, and I was like, oh shit! And I ran down our driveway and I sprinted the 2 blocks to the cast party and I burst and I was like, I'm back, bitches! And someone's mom was picking them up and I was like, hello, ma'am. And I looked around and there were 4 people left. And it was so dead. And I was like, oh, hey guys, what's up? How's it going? And they were like, nothing's happening. I was like, wanna get out the apples to apples, not junior version? And they were like, no, we're leaving now. And I was like, awesome, totally did not risk my life just now, that's fine. And so I went back to my house and I like lay in bed for an hour because my heart was still rushing. And then on Monday, I went back to school, and some of my friends had heard about it, and they were like, Ella, that's awesome. You earned the title of BAMF. And I was like, yeah, I know what that means. Awesome. And I was like, that's so cool. And I learned what BAMF meant. It was like a learning experience. It's always good. And I was like, that's so cool. Don't tell my parents. And to this day, my parents still do not know. And I now empower young women to find boyfriends. Thank you.
Ella, that was great. You just don't know I was texting your folks even as you spoke. They know now, dear. It's gonna be ugly when you go home. Thank you.